H1N1 flu, also known as swine influenza, is an infection that interrupts the respiratory system. The pathogen of the disease is H1N1 virus, which is the subtype of influenza A virus. The first epidemic that was caused by the H1N1 virus was the well-known Spanish flu in 1918, and at least 15 million people were killed worldwide. In 1930, the virus was first isolated from a pig in Iowa. In the following decades in the 20th century, the H1N1 virus caused several epidemics in the world, such as Asian flu pandemic, Hong Kong flu pandemic, and the Fort Dix outbreak. An interesting fact about this flu is that a person can get the disease from pigs, humans, or birds. The most recent epidemic that was caused by the H1N1 virus was the 2009 epidemic. The first cases were found in the US and Mexico, and then it was spread worldwide to other continents. H1N1 flu was spread through the contacts with pigs or other contaminated food or air. People can get the disease very easily by touching the objects that are sneezed or coughed by the infected people. People that are younger than 25 years old or older than 65 years old are more likely to get it than other age groups. H1N1 flu is a zoonosis, which is contagious between both people and animals, and it is transmitted by inhaling the virus or touching the object that is contaminated by the virus, because the virus will get into one's body when one touches its nose or mouth. They use vectors such as pigs and birds. The virus is exposed into the air or the environment through coughing or sneezing by the infected people. The symptoms of H1N1 includes fever, sore throat, cough, muscle aches, vomiting, or a series of flu-like symptoms. It mainly affects the respiratory system because it is a disease and infects the respiratory system, focusing on the throat, nose, and lungs. It also affects the digestive system because some people would have diarrhea and vomiting. The disease could be lethal if it is diagnosed very late. The virus would damage the air sacs in the lungs, and people would die when the air sacs collapse and the lung becomes stiff. The H1N1 virus will get into our bodies through noses, mouth, or eyes. After they get through several defenses in our system, they attack cells in our respiratory system. We would first have sore throat when the virus divided up quickly and infect our throats. Then they would get to our lungs and damage the air sacs in our lungs. We would start to cough and sneeze. When there are too much infections in our body would respond with symptoms such as fever. A person would become very dangerous if they did not get treated promptly because their lungs would be damaged quickly. H1N1 virus has to get through the first line of defense. Although it cannot penetrate through the skin, it could enter the body through mouth, nose, and eyes. Saliva, mucus, and tears contain enzymes which can break down the cell walls of the bacteria. Both cilia and mucus in noses can trap the pathogens away from lungs. The acids in stomachs can destroy pathogens that are swallowed. The second line of defense is triggered when the pathogens get into our body through an injury. We would respond with inflammatory responses. When the bacteria damages the cells, it stimulates mast cells to release chemicals to increase blood flow, causing the area to swell. The red blood cells move into infected tissues. Those of the big white blood cells are called phagocytes, which engulf the bacteria. The immune response is the specific defenses of our immune system. It can recognize cells or proteins that belong or do not belong in our bodies. On the outer surfaces of the bacteria is located antigens, which are foreign substances that would trigger immune responses. The antibodies are attached to the immune cells to destroy antigens. The main immune cells are B lymphocytes and T lymphocytes, also known as B cells and T cells. T cells first identify the pathogen and activate B cells and T cells. Then B cells make antibodies specific to the antigen and fight the antigen. T cells are responsible for fighting the infected parts of the body. After infection has been fought, B cells would make memory cells, which help the immune system to activate much faster. It is very hard to fight the H1N1 virus without medications, because it infects so quickly that our bodies cannot respond at that pace. There are 2 types of vaccine that can protect against 7 strains of the virus. We should not go to areas where there are too many people but there is a pandemic. When we want to sneeze or cough, we should cover our mouth with clothes. It is also very important to wash our hands very often. There are cures for this disease. Some specific kinds of antibiotics can fight the disease very efficiently.